Trying to figure out this Chicago White Sox team is nearly impossible. For the first time all year, the White Sox have the lineup they wanted coming out of spring training. And what do they do with it? 5 hits and 2 runs. The White Sox let a left-handed pitcher making his MLB debut have his way with them. And it could have been a lot worse, but Johnny Cueto was a workhorse again. The White Sox look to even up the series Friday night. Can Dylan Cease please get some run support?
You are Locked On White Sox, your daily Chicago White Sox podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, Sox fans, welcome to Locked On White Sox. Thank you for making Locked On White Sox your first listen each and every day. We're free and available on all platforms. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Sox. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just search Locked On White Sox. Today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey, I'm your host, Nick Morawski, a lifelong, die-hard Chicago White Sox fan, recording this podcast just blocks from the ballpark in beautiful Bridgeport. You can find me on Twitter at Nick_GGTB. Really appreciate you letting me steal some of your time to talk White Sox. Locked On White Sox is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Johnny Cueto continued to be brilliant. First baseman playing in the outfield can cost your team runs. Why is Yasmani Grandal so bad? And a healthy, complete White Sox team falls flat. State of the Sox, White Sox 53-52, still 2 games back in the AL Central. Chicago White Sox lost to the Texas Rangers Thursday night 3-2. Minnesota and Cleveland also lost. So there was ground to be gained, but it wasn't to be for the Chicago White Sox. Sox are in the midst of this 19-game stretch in which they are facing opponents under 500, and the Sox have a 5-4 record so far. A lot was made about the lineup on Thursday. Team getting healthy. There's finally some consistency. I'm going to read some quotes, some things that Jose Abreu has been saying, Eloy Jimenez, but pretty shocking, right? You know, here we are, first week in August, and for the first time, this core, these 6 guys that the Sox thought about, you know, we're going to have these guys consistently. It hasn't happened yet. White Sox on Thursday were facing a lefty. That's usually a good sign. However, this pitcher was making his Major League Baseball debut. But then on the other hand, this was one of the best White Sox lineups of the year. Thursday was the first time this season, the 105th game, that Abreu, Anderson, Grandal, Jimenez, Moncada, and Robert were all in the lineup. Now, they showed some stats in the NBC Sports Chicago pregame show about how the Sox have fared recently pretty well against guys making their MLB debut. But if you've been a Sox fan for several years, a couple decades, you remember that, boy, if there was a pitcher that the Sox had never seen before, making their debut, forget about it. There was going to be no offense from the Sox, and unfortunately, that was kind of the case on Thursday. Mr. August, Jose Abreu, was talking a little bit about the lineup before the game, that the idea of these 6 guys finally being in the lineup, it was not lost on him. This is what he had to say. We are all together. We are united. And with Robert playing, It's the first time we are all going to be playing at the same time, actually. That was how it was supposed to be since spring training. Today is the day. We are a good team. We know that. Right now, our goal is to stay healthy. If we stay healthy and we stay on the field, we know we are going to be good. You love hearing the confidence. You love hearing that Abreu gets it. I know he's not the only one that realizes, wow, guys are coming back. Guys are playing consistently. Now it's our job to stay on the field and play together. Speaking of Abreu, Abreu was the White Sox nominee for the MLB's Heart and Hustle Award. That information was released Thursday afternoon. This is what this award is all about. The award honors active players who demonstrate a passion for the game of baseball and best embodies the values, spirit, and traditions of the game. The Heart and Hustle Award is also the only award in Major League Baseball that is voted on by former players. Voting is conducted prior to the All-Star break. Every team has a representative, and then they will elect one winner, and that news should come out in November. Now, if they held the vote, past the All-Star break and it was continuing, I'm telling you, Johnny Cueto might be in that conversation. You might be able to throw Liam Hendricks in there as well. But I don't think, honestly, if we really think about it, there aren't a lot of folks on this White Sox team this year that embody all of the things that I just talked about with this award. Good on Abreu, and we'll see where that goes later this year. Coming into Thursday's game, it was the 7th in a row for Eloy Jimenez. He had a 9-game hitting streak, 16 for 33. That's a 485 average coming into the game. And this is what he had to say. It's good, that's good to have everybody healthy and be available to do that and having fun. That's one of the things you want to have when you have a team like we have. When you've played 2 games and then you're back to the bench, it's hard to get the rhythm, Jimenez said. But now that I can play every day, I feel better and I'm getting my rhythm back. I think that quote right there, that sums up a lot of, unfortunately, maybe what went wrong towards the end of the 2021 season. Don't want to harp on it too much, but there wasn't a lot of rhythm, there were guys getting rest and we just didn't have the rhythm or momentum heading into the ALDS. And we really haven't had that type of consistency and rhythm this year due to a variety of different reasons. And when Jimenez has been back, to his point, he's played a little bit, then they've been resting his legs. We've seen it happen with Pollock and Vaughn and even TA. And I'm getting a sense now that, it's go time. And I'm hoping that the lineup that we saw, even though it didn't produce, the lineup we saw on Thursday is a consistent lineup moving forward. Now, the White Sox did talk a big game. They were saying all the right things when it mattered, but they simply could not produce. Going to talk about that more in a moment. At BlueNile.com, you can celebrate all of life's special moments, from creating the custom engagement ring of her dreams to gifting a classic and timeless jewelry piece, all at prices you won't find at a traditional jeweler. Whether you're customizing an engagement ring or designing diamond stud earrings, online jeweler Blue Nile will allow you to create a bigger, more brilliant piece than you can imagine at a price you won't find at a traditional jeweler. Blue Nile has simple online tools that will let you choose the diamond shape, size, and clarity, as well as setting style. Blue Nile's bench jewelers will then handcraft her perfect engagement ring. Each ring is one of a kind. Make your moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com. And going on now is the Blue Nile Anniversary Sale. Save up to 40% on classic fine jewelry pieces and 25% on engagement ring settings. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever piece. Go to BlueNile.com today. Boy, this White Sox offense on Thursday, I don't know about you, but after I did see the lineup and, heard, and was reminded, hey, you know what? This is the first time that those core six guys are going to be in the lineup. Started to get a little excited. You know what? I can't wait to see what this offense is going to do. Everybody's together, saying the right things. Texas is throwing a left-handed pitcher, making his MLB debut. Cole Reagan's, he had two Tommy John surgeries in a 14-month span. Talk about some TWTW. That is a guy that, good on him, only 24 years old. So again, the part of me is, well, it's a left-handed pitcher. We've got this A-plus lineup, this lineup we've been waiting for since coming out of spring training. However, he's making his major league debut. First inning, Robert and Abreu with base hits. Good to see Robert getting involved right away. Runners at the corners with 2 outs for Andrew Vaughn. He walks, bases loaded for Moncada, and he pops up on the first pitch he saw. Inning over. Blown opportunity for sure. Second inning, A.J. Pollock led off with a hit. Yasmani Grandal strikes out. He had a rough game. He's having a rough season. Hitting sub 200. I'm comparing Yasmani Grandal to 2011 Adam Dunn. It's that bad. Although Adam Dunn did run into a few, had 11 home runs that season, but did not live up to the hype. That was the first year for Adam Dunn in a White Sox uniform. Huge offseason acquisition, and he fell flat. Big disappointment. And right now, Yasmani Grandal, he just looks like he doesn't have it anymore. I don't know what is going on. Can't figure it out. Is it the legs? Is it something else bigger? But he looks lost, and he looked lost throughout the game. Third inning, Robert with a leadoff walk. Abreu with a fly ball to right field. The Texas right fielder Garcia let the ball pop out of his glove. Now, it was originally called a catch initially, then was challenged. If you watched the replay, you knew, of course, that was not a catch. The call was overturned. Runners at first and third, only 1 out. Andrew Vaughn with a little excuse me tapper to the mound, and Robert scores from third, avoiding Andrew Vaughn's bat that was in front of home plate. Outstanding slide. 1-1 at that time. Unfortunately, that's all that the Sox got. Fourth inning, Sox get a walk from Grandal, but that was turned quickly into a double play. After 4 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 0 extra base hits for our White Sox. Fifth inning, Sox hit into another double play. Things absolutely quiet on the offense front. Sixth inning, Texas goes to the bullpen. They bring in a lefty. Andrew Vaughn led off with a single. Moncada strikes out. Almost another double play, but Pollock beat the throw, and then Yasmani Grandal grounds out to third, looking absolutely lost. Seventh inning, nothing doing still. After 7 innings, just 1 run, 4 hits, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts. The Sox were taking the walks. I will say that. Pretty high number at the end of the day, but, nothing to show for it. Eighth inning, Matt Moore came in to pitch. Now, Matt Moore was a lefty reliever that a lot of folks, especially myself, were looking at. Maybe that could be a deadline acquisition. Apparently, the price was too high for Matt Moore, but he came in to pitch for Texas. Abreu got on. Moncada split the gaps with 2 outs. Garcia for Texas having a rough night, made another mistake and allowed the ball to get past him. Abreu scored, and Moncada ended up on third. 3-2 Texas. Sox coming back here late in the game. Pollock walks. You've got Yasmani Grandal up with the runners on the corners with 2 outs. Huge run there at third base, and he flies out to left field. I mean, he hit it hard, but it was an out. Ninth inning, Gavin Sheets. This is the man, folks. Gavin Sheets is the man that the Sox are sticking with. They did not make a move for a left-handed bat, and Sheets is aware of that, and he knows it is on his shoulders. He pinch hit for Harrison, and he grounds out. Tim Anderson strikes out and Abreu strikes out. Go quietly into the night. Sox offensive line, 2 runs, 5 hits, 6 walks, which is one of the higher numbers that you will find for a White Sox team this year. Sox struck out 9 times, 1 extra base hit, and that was a Moncada triple that really, it was an error. I mean, it probably was a double error, extra base. Runners in scoring position, Sox 0 for 6, and it sure felt like it if you watched the game. This was one of those games, folks, and you might want to rewatch this just for Cueto's performance. But offensively, this was a game that so much hype. It almost was like the 2021 season. A lot of hype for this Sox team. World Series or bust. Here we come. And then just kind of floundering. And that was this game offensively. A lot of hype coming into the game. Here we go. We've got the 6 guys we've wanted since spring training and nothing doing. Where would the White Sox be without Johnny Cueto? Even though he did not get the win, Johnny Cueto added another chapter to his already impressive 2022 book. More on that in a moment. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. Find all your favorite sports and events at the #1 online source for odds, lines, and games. Find reviews and news of every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports wagering information, from live in-game betting, scores, and podcasts. They have you covered. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today. BetOnline, where the game starts. Johnny Cueto, he didn't start the team, of course, or start the year, I should say, with the White Sox, but he has been such a breath of fresh air. I mean, Cueto and Cease and Cueto. I feel like if you had to start the playoffs right now and somehow the Sox were able to get in it, those are the 2 guys you would go with. First inning, Cueto gave up a hit but got help from a double play, only threw 13 pitches. That was a key to Cueto throughout Thursday night, keeping the pitch count low. A second inning, a leadoff double. Texas was getting that lead guy on, but weren't able to do much with it. Andrew Vaughn doing his best out there in right field, made a diving catch, but we'll find later in the game he really struggled defensively. Then a base hit. After 4 pitches in the inning, Texas had 2 hits and scored a run quickly. It was 1-0 Texas in the second. Rangers seem to be seeing Cueto well, though. Obviously a plan in place to jump all over the first pitch and not let Cueto get crafty and do that stop-start motion. They were jumping on something early. Cueto in the third, 3 up, 3 down for the first time of the game. Only 32 pitches through 3 innings. Fourth inning, helping keep that pitch count low. Second double play turned by the White Sox, but Cueto gave up a double to Nathaniel Lowe. It was the second of the game for him, but then gets out of it by rolling a ground ball. Fifth inning, Texas gets their first man on again, but Cueto gets out of the inning without an issue. Did a really nice job. This was key here for a lot of young pitchers, young baseball players watching. This was a great teaching moment. Cueto covered third base. There was a ground ball to Moncada. Moncada bobbled it. It hit off his glove, and Anderson fielded it. Well, there was a runner at second for Texas, and he's sprinting to third. Well, Cueto, since no one was there at third, he hustles over to third and was able to take Tim Anderson's throw and tag out the runner trying to advance. I was always taught, I know this is probably, good instruction. When you're a pitcher, and after you've done your job and the ball has hit into the field, you need to turn around and you need to figure out where you need to go, especially if the ball is in the outfield. Are you backing up third base? Are you on the first base side? Are you backing up the catcher? In this case, really heads up by Cueto. He sprinted over to third to get that throw from Anderson. Sixth inning, 60 pitches to start the sixth. That's outstanding. With one out, Corey Seager hit a ground rule double. Andrew Vaughn could not make the play. It looked like it hit off of his glove, then bounced over the wall. Is that a play Adam Engel makes? Possibly. It's debatable. Lowe was up with 2 outs and Seager at third. Cueto pitching him high out of the zone. Lowe already had 2 doubles in the game, and then he got Lowe to ground out to second base. That was a gutsy inning right there from Cueto. Seventh inning, he's got 73 pitches on the arm, comes out for the seventh. Infield single that Cueto almost was able to convert into an out. Then a bloop single to right field that Vaughn could not get to. He did not break very well out there because he's not an outfielder. Runners on second and first with just 1 out. And it started to feel like just a matter of time before Texas breaks this game open. And sure enough, they had an RBI single up the middle, then a bunt. Cueto fielded it, but Harrison was not at first in time. And then Pollock and Andrew Vaughn nearly collide on a fly ball to center field. Andrew Vaughn catches it, yet Pollock is the one that should be making this catch. He's the natural outfielder. He has the stronger arm. Of course, Andrew Vaughn was not able to throw out the runner tagging from home. Another run for Texas. It was 3-1 at that point. Cueto comes out for the 8th inning, and he goes 1, 2, 3. Wow, what an impressive outing for Cueto. He deserved so much better. His final line, 8 innings, 11 hits, 3 runs, 0 walks, 4 strikeouts. Cueto's ERA is down to 2.91. He threw 106 pitches, and he only gave up 2 extra base hits. So, yeah, he gave up 11 hits, only 2 extra base hits, and they were both doubles, both by Lowe. Dylan Cease, he's got to be our quick stopper here. Mr. AL Pitcher of the Month for June and July. He takes the hill for the Sox on Friday, hoping to even up the series. I'm hoping that lineup gets put out once again, and it'll do damage the second time through. It's got to, right? Thank you, folks, so much for making this podcast part of your daily routine. You can find the Locked On White Sox podcast absolutely everywhere you find your podcasts. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Sox. You can find me on Twitter at Nick_GGTB. Thanks for making Locked On White Sox your first listen. Now make your second listen the Locked On MLB podcast. MLB expert Paul Francis Sullivan brings humor, passion, and unique perspective on every team and the biggest stories around the league. Follow the #1 daily league-wide podcast, Locked On MLB, on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. Coming up on the next episode, I'll recap the weekend that was, the whole Texas series, and start talking about the upcoming matchup with the Kansas City Royals. Really appreciate you making time for the Locked On White Sox podcast. I'm Nick Morawski. Until next time, go Sox.